Well, YouTube, how's everybody today? 3 days. 3 days until this goes away. Until Windows XP is no longer supported by Microsoft. So what are y'all gonna do? Those of you, I know there's quite a few people out there that are still using XP. And I guess my question is, what are you gonna do when that ends? Are you going to go up to Vista or 7? Or are you going to keep using XP? Or what are your plans for that? What exactly? Me personally, here's my view of it. I have a lot of computers laying around here that are older machines that if I was to put Vista or 7 or 8 on them, they would crawl. You know, they just would not handle it, not one bit. So, I plan on keeping it on some of my machines, the ones that I don't care about the security risk. But on my more important machines, I'll probably upgrade to 7 at some point. So what does it mean when XP is done? When they won't support it anymore? That doesn't mean that it's going to stop working. What's going to happen? You just won't have Patch Tuesdays anymore. You know, you'll be able to patch it all the way up to the last patch if you have to reinstall it, but there will be no new patches. So it's going to exist in that state that it is in after April the 8th. At least that's what I've been told, and that's what I've been led to believe. I know it'll keep working regardless, but you may want to download Service Pack 3 and Service Pack 2 while you still can, because those things will most likely be going away. But other than that, it should still continue to operate. Will it become less secure? Probably. But I think it's going to gain security through obscurity. As the operating system becomes less popular, as it fades into the back of history, who's going to write stuff for that old stuff? You know, virus makers are interested in new stuff. Anybody buying a new computer is going to have that, and that's where the information is that's going to need to be stolen. You know, credit cards, bank records, things like that. A lot of the virus makers are talking about continuing to support Windows XP and update the definitions, because think of all, even up to last year and this year, even a few, think of all the netbooks that have been made that were designed to work with XP, that if you were to put Windows 8, like these old Atom processor based netbooks, even the newer ones, could you imagine that running Windows 7 or 8 versus XP, which it came with? I mean, some of them, they're pretty underpowered with XP. Could you imagine trying to run Windows 8 on like an Asus netbook, you know, or some other thing, or a little Dell netbook? Yeah, and the other thing that's going on, Windows XP was embedded into a lot of manufactured systems. There's actually ATMs that use Windows XP, there's cash registers, all kinds of things that do. So the security, even though the operating system is pretty well dilapidated and antiquated according to Microsoft, there's a lot of embedded hardware that's running that you can't do anything about. You know, manufactured up to the current day. And if you have older computers, I'm not throwing my computers away. They do their job, you know, and they do it efficiently. And I have tasks assigned to these older computers that I don't want to burden my newer machines with. So, you know, why would I I'm not going to throw my computers away just to have something that runs the new OS. You know, these things are doing their job. They're not broken. Some of the software that runs on them was never made compatible with anything above XP, and there's not really viable alternatives to what I'm running. So there's still a good argument to keep XP running on some systems. Now, for Joe Schmo, the ragman, whoever, that doesn't know anything about their computers and, their Facebooking and stuff like that, playing games on it and whatnot, have no concept of how it's working or what it's doing. Yeah, especially people who do their online banking stupidly on a PC these days. And you consider there are any number of banker Trojans out there right now. Yeah, go up to a more secure operating system if if you're going to be doing things that compromise yourself. That's something that you may want to check into. But I really don't see an extreme need in my situation here to jump up to XP. And you have laptops that were designed to run XP that you put Vista or 7 on, forget it. It's not going to work very well at all. It's going to crawl in most cases. Excuse me. And those systems, you gotta do what you gotta do to keep those running. So keep the old OS. I had a friend who just called not long ago. Took their computer to Geek Squad, and they're like, "Oh, you need a new." It was a laptop. You need a new motherboard, and this, that, and the other, and you need to upgrade to Windows 8. They were going to put them on the hook for the whole cell when all it was, their hard drive was cratered, and they just needed a new hard drive. And it came with XP. It was designed for it. If she were to put Vista or 7 or even 8 on that thing, it'd take 10 minutes just to get to the desktop. These things are slow running that. And it's definitely a resource hog on older machines. You have to be careful what you put it on. So, but that's my question. There's like 3 or 4 days until this thing is dropped from Microsoft's support regimen. Its repertoire. But the things that you have to worry about, you don't have to worry about it stopping working. Just keep your antivirus good and up to date. There will be third parties that will be providing security fixes here and there. You just have to look around. That's why you have Google. And you just wouldn't believe the people that I've talked to. It's like, oh, it's going to stop working. Oh, what am I going to do? Just keep using it. Keep using it. You can use it up to the point that you can replace it. If your system won't perform well on Vista or 7, go to Linux or something, Linux Mint is a good distro. And if you really don't know what to do with Linux, go get like Ubuntu or something. It works like 8. It's got that stupid Unity shell, which turns it basically into a big smartphone. That actually is another video for another time. I don't like how idiot-worthy they're making Linux. Linux, how should I put it? Linux was an operating system, and I think still is to a high degree, for people who are more into the hardware of the machine and the nuts and bolts and have a little bit of something up under here. It was never really made to be something that you just turn on and use. I mean, it's getting that way, and it's kind of good that it's getting that way. But Linux will never be its own thing as long as they keep mimicking Windows. Okay, they've started mimicking Windows 8 with this Unity shell and all this other crap. And number one, there are so many of us that hate Windows 8. If you want to shoot Linux in the foot, go ahead and make it work that way. If you want to keep it thriving and strong, make it work like XP, Vista, or 7. Give it that appearance in the GUI if you're going to use a GUI. Because when I sit down in front of a PC, I don't want to be using a smartphone. I'm recording this on a smartphone. There's purpose to a smartphone being what it is. And there's purpose to a PC being a PC. I don't get on a PC to do stupid smartphone things. I get on a PC to do real work. And I want an operating system that reflects that ability. I don't want an operating system that turns my PC into a toy. And that's basically what Windows 8 does. And that's what they're trying to do with this Unity shell and all this stuff. I don't like it, you know. Just when you get to know how to do something right and you have something that can give you some productivity, someone comes along and makes it into a toy. You know, hence Windows 8, hence Unity shell. Now, if you want a Linux distro that really works good, works kind of like Windows 7, one of the better options out there right now, because it has Java pre-installed and all the other things that you need to make it go, go get you a copy of Linux Mint. You know, that still works. You can still get it with the KDE desktop or the GNOME desktop, or they have a thing, at least the last time I checked, you know, you could still. They have a thing now you can get, and it comes with it, is Cinnamon is their latest desktop. But it all works. It all has a taskbar on the bottom. It has a well-organized menu. It has a proper desktop. It has the functionality you need in a logical arrangement. You know, which Windows 8 lacks. Man, my mother got a Windows 8.1 PC, and that was a pain to get it configured up and get it working, because there were these little hitches, you know, getting it to do the things that the Windows 7 PC did and that the Windows XP PC did. And then my wife's mother got a Windows 8.1 PC. Oh my God, what a freaking headache that thing was. We got it working. She just wanted it to play SWTOR, so we configured it to do that. That's about all I did with it, you know. That's what it was bought for. So I don't know what much else you could do with it. I mean, don't like Windows 8. Don't like it. It looks too much like my Windows Phone, which I don't like much because of the way it works. But in a phone, I expect it to work a certain way, and it's like I said, in a PC, I expect it to work a certain way. And I don't like this weird migration all these machines are taking. They're all becoming idiot boxes or giant iPads. You know, there's when you want to do real work, and you're going to be there for a while, you don't want to be doing this. You know, like, could you imagine typing a term paper like this? Yeah. Or writing a book like that. Your arm's going to get tired in about 30 minutes. I mean, what is that? Touch screen on a PC. Some jobs, you need a keyboard, and you need a mouse, and you need an operating system that utilizes the full number crunching power of your CPU, and doesn't just give you flashy pictures and operate like a kid's toy. That's what it reminds me of. It's like they're turning computers into those little VTech, or, you know, those little kids learning computers, those dinky little My First Laptop. That's what it's all becoming. It's becoming like a kid's toy. I hadn't thought about it until now. But yeah, that's what it reminds me of. It's like my first toy computer. Oh. You know, another reason not to like it, you know. And don't get me wrong, some of Microsoft's products are great, but I friggin' hate Windows 8. I will not run it. I do not like it, Sam I Am. I do not like Windows 8 with green eggs and ham. So, there you go. But yeah, what are you going to do when XP is gone? You know, what's your strategy? Let us know.